On this day in Presbyterian history, we reflect on the life of William Twisse, the first voice, the moderator of the Westminster Assembly, and one of the foundational figures in the shaping of Reformed theology. Born in 1578 in Reading, England, William Twisse was a man of profound learning, gentle spirit, and unwavering devotion to the sovereignty of God. From his early days at New College, Oxford, Twisse distinguished himself as a brilliant theologian, fluent in classical languages and well-versed in the doctrines of grace. He would go on to serve as a fellow and lecturer at Oxford, sharpening both his academic and pastoral instincts. But Twisse was more than a scholar, he was a shepherd. For more than 20 years, he faithfully served as the rector of St. Andrew's Church in Newbury, Berkshire, preaching and pastoring with both tenderness and theological precision. His ministry was shaped by his deep conviction that theology must serve the church and that God's word must be applied to the hearts of God's people. In the theological controversies of his day, Twisse emerged as a powerful defender of Calvinistic orthodoxy. He stood firmly against the rising influence of Arminianism, contending for the doctrines of unconditional election, predestination, and sovereign grace. His most famous work, Vindicia Gratiae, A Defense of the Grace of God, published in 1632, was a massive and scholarly rebuttal of Jesuit theologian Luis de Molina and his concept of middle knowledge. Twisse passionately upheld supralapsarianism, the belief that God's decree to elect came even before his decree to permit the fall. Twisse's theological insight and pastoral faithfulness did not go unnoticed. In 1643, amid the turmoil of the English Civil War, Parliament convened the Westminster Assembly to reform the Church of England. William Twisse was appointed as the Assembly's prolocutor, or moderator, becoming the first to preside over what would become one of the most important theological councils in Protestant history. Though frail in health, Twisse's presence brought gravity and doctrinal clarity to the Assembly's early sessions. He opened the proceedings with prayer, oversaw the initial structure of debates, and helped establish the reverent tone that would mark the Assembly's work for the next decade. While illness limited his long-term participation, his theological convictions laid a crucial foundation for the Assembly's development of the Westminster Confession of Faith, the larger and shorter catechisms, and the Directory for Public Worship. Twisse passed away on July 20th, 1646, before the Assembly's work was complete. But his legacy endured, not only in the standards he helped shape, but in the lives of those he taught, pastored, and influenced. His later works, including The Riches of God's Love unto the Vessels of Mercy, published posthumously, and Of the Morality of the Fourth Commandment, reflected both scholarly depth and pastoral concern, showing his engagement with issues ranging from God's eternal decrees to the proper observance of the Sabbath. Today, as Presbyterians around the world study the Westminster Standards, we remember William Twisse, a faithful pastor, a courageous theologian, and the first voice of the Westminster Assembly. His life reminds us that the defense of truth is not only found in the heat of debate, but in the quiet persistence of preaching, prayer, and shepherding God's people under the banner of his sovereign grace.